Good morning, students. So today lecture number 2. So last period you have discussed some properties, definition of inverse trigonometric functions, some few property I explained. So we'll continue that problems. Find the value of sine inverse of sine sine 3 pi by 5. So you are explained last that lecture number 1 that sine inverse of sine theta is theta. Okay. So here sine inverse of sine 3 pi by 5. Right, solution sine inverse of sine 3 pi by 5 not equal to 3 pi by 5. Okay, because 3 pi by 5 does not belongs to minus 92 plus 90. Consider sine 3 pi by 5 equal to sine of pi minus 2 pi by 5. Sine 3 pi by 5, whether you should take allied angle 180 minus theta, pi minus 5 pi minus 2 pi 3 pi equal to sine 2 pi by 5. Now sine inverse of sine 3 pi by 5 equal to sine inverse of sine 2 pi by 5 equal to 2 pi by 5. So this value between minus 92 plus 90. So using property of sine inverse of sine theta is theta, but theta is not equal. This is more than does not lie between minus 92 plus 90. Whether you go to allied angle sine of 180 minus 2 pi by 6, it is sine 2 pi by 5. Okay, so correct answer is the 2 pi by answer is 2 pi by 5. Next, find the value of sine inverse of sine minus 600 degree. Sine inverse of sine minus 600 degree. Given this not equal to minus 600 degree because does not lie between minus 92 plus 90. Consider sine of minus 600 degree. Better you can take minus sine 600, sine of minus, okay, minus sine of 360 degree plus 240 and sine 240 degree. Once again sine of 180 degree plus 60. So 180 plus theta is third quadrant negative, minus into minus sine 60 degree. So sine 60 degree. Now what is the question? Sine inverse of sine of minus 600 degree equal to sine inverse of sine 60 degree. What is the value of sine of minus 600? Sine 60 degree. So your correct answer is 60 degree, because this is lies between minus 90 to plus 90. So what is the value of sine inverse of sine 600 degree? It is plus 60. Suppose you say instead of minus plus, maybe it is minus answer, minus 60 degree. Okay. Find the value of cos inverse of cos 13 pi by 6. One more problems. Cos inverse of cos 13 pi by 6 not equal to 13 pi by 6, because 13 pi by 6 does not belongs to 0 comma pi. You know the property, cos inverse of cos theta is theta, theta is 0 to pi, but this is more than 180 degree, it's not okay. Now consider cos 13 pi by 6, 2 pi plus pi by 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 plus 1, 13 pi. Cos of 360 degree is cos pi by 3, okay. So what is the cos of 13 pi by 6 is cos of pi by 6. Now substituting cos inverse of cos 13 pi by 6 equal to cos inverse of cos pi by 6. So this your answer is pi by 6, 30 degree. It belongs to minus 9, 0 to pi. So cos inverse of cos theta is theta, theta is lies between 0 to pi. Okay. So at present it is not more than, it is out of range. So 0 to pi is not there. It is more than, not lies between 0 to pi. Better you go to allied angle. So I am taking 2 pi plus pi by 6, it is cos pi by 6, 30 degree is the answer. Next property 2. Property 2. This is, maybe it is a domain property. Sine inverse of x is x. Cos inverse of x equal to x. Tan inverse of x is equal to x. Cot inverse of x is x. Secant inverse of x is x. And cosec inverse of x is equal to x. That previous one is a range property. Now it is called domain property. So all are x domain only. So you know sine inverse of x is x. X is, I am telling, domain. Okay, what is the restriction? X belongs to minus 1 plus 1. This also x belongs to minus 1 plus 1. So x belongs to R This also x belongs to R. So x less than minus 1 or x greater than or equal to 1. This also same, x less than or equal to minus 1 or x greater than 1. Even this is or other than minus 1 plus 1 or other than minus 1 plus 1. So I given table also it is. So these are most important that I am calling this property 2. It is a domain property. This inverse is in bracket no. Suppose this inverse is outside comes range bolte हैं इसको range. Now it is present x is called domain. So if the answer depends upon domain only. You have to divide what is the domain of sin inverse cos inverse will be same. Tan inverse of x cot inverse is the same. These two are same pairwise. These two. Okay. For example, sin inverse of 5 not equal to 5 because 5 does not belongs to minus 1 plus 1. Sin inverse of 5 is not equal to 5 because 5 is not lies between minus 1 to plus 1. Tan of tan inverse of 20 is equal to 20 because 20 is any real number. Tan inverse of x is x is any real number. Number 3, secant inverse of 5. Okay, this is 5 because secant of x is x greater than or equal to 1. Okay, and number 4, cosec of 1 by 10 not equal to 1 by 10 because 1 by 10 is less than 1. So what is the domain condition? X greater than or equal to 1 or x less than or equal to minus 1. So these are examples of what domain. Right. Property 3. Okay. Number 1, sin inverse of minus x is equal to minus sin inverse of x. Cos inverse of minus x pi minus cos inverse of x. Tan inverse of minus x minus tan inverse of x. Cot inverse of minus x pi minus cot inverse of x. Secant inverse of minus x pi minus secant inverse of x. And sixth one is cosec inverse of minus x minus cosec inverse of x. Okay. So these are domain is negative. Secant inverse of minus x pi minus. So how many are pi minus? Cos inverse of minus x, secant inverse of minus x, and cot inverse of minus. These are pi minus because it is second quadrant. So sin inverse of x, tan inverse of x, cosec inverse, these are negative. It comes fourth quadrant. Okay, which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. 3 are fourth quadrant. Another 3 are second quadrant. Which one is second quadrant? Wherever pi minus it will come second quadrant. So I will prove that first one. Let sin inverse of minus x is theta. Okay, sin inverse of minus x is theta. Therefore, sin theta is equal to minus x. Minus sin theta equal to x. What is the sign of minus sign here? Sin of minus theta equal to x. So definition, minus theta equal to sin inverse of x. This implies theta minus sin inverse of x. What is the theta value? Sin inverse of minus x is equal to minus sin inverse of x. This is the answer. What is the sin inverse of minus x? Minus sin inverse of x. I'll prove one more, that pi minus, okay? Now one I proved that minus remaining, it is the same method as sin inverse of tan inverse of minus x and cosec inverse. And I will prove that second one, let cos inverse of minus x is theta. Therefore, cos theta equal to minus x, and minus cos theta is x. Cos of second quadrant pi minus theta is x. Pi minus theta equal to cos inverse of x. So what is the theta value? Pi minus cos inverse of x. So what is theta here? Cos inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus cos inverse of x. So this is the, similarly we have to prove that, similarly we can prove that cot inverse of x and what? Secant inverse of minus x. Okay? Even in the latest syllabus it is deleted some properties, no properties. Even I am proving that out of 6, 2 properties I am proving. Okay? For example, cos inverse of minus 1 by 2, pi minus cos inverse of 1 by 2, pi minus pi by 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Second example, cot inverse of minus root 3, pi minus cot inverse of root 3, pi minus pi by 6, 5 pi by 6. Okay? You take one more example. Cosec inverse of minus root 2. This is minus cosec inverse of root 2. And minus is sin inverse of 1 by 2 is pi by 4. So minus pi by 4. Here you want one more example. Secant inverse of minus 2. Pi minus secant inverse of 2. So pi minus pi by 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Okay? These are minus x domains. Okay? Cos inverse of minus 1, cos inverse of minus pi minus cos 1, cot inverse of pi is pi minus, cosec inverse of minus is minus, secant inverse of x pi minus. So this property T I have finished. Okay? Property 4. What is the property 4? Sin inverse of 1 by x is cosec inverse of x. Cos inverse of 1 by x, secant inverse of x. So these three are called reciprocal. So what is next? Tan inverse of 1 by x is cot inverse of x. So what is 1 by x? 1 by x greater than or equal to 1 or less than or equal to minus 1. So what is Same, 1 by x greater than or equal to 1 or less than minus 1. What is 1 by x? Is belongs to any real number. So I think x is positive. X is positive. Let you take x is positive. Later I will prove that one. First one I will prove that sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to theta. Sin inverse of 1 by x is theta. Sin theta equal to 1 by x. Sin theta is 1 by x. Reciprocal. Cosec theta is x. Cosec theta is x. So cosec theta is 1 by sin theta equal to x. Sin theta, it becomes 1 by x. Okay. Sin theta is 1 by x. Cosec theta is equal to x. Theta cosec inverse of x. So what is the correct? Sin inverse of 1 by x is cosec inverse of x. And similarly, cos inverse of x is secant tan inverse of 1. Even vice versa. Cosec inverse of x is sin inverse of 1 by x. Secant inverse of x is cos inverse of 1 by x. Cot inverse of x is tan inverse of 1 by x. So these are reciprocal property. The name is called reciprocal. For example, secant inverse of 2 by root 3. So it is very difficult to solve it. Better go to reciprocal. Cos inverse of root 3 by 2. So correct answer pi by 6. Second one, cot inverse of minus 1 by root 3. Okay? So better first pi minus cot inverse of 1 by root 3. Pi minus cot inverse reciprocal tan inverse root 3. Pi minus pi by 3. 2 pi by 3. Number 3, cosec inverse of minus root 2. So better first you write cosec inverse of root. First sin cosec inverse of minus x. Now I am taking reciprocal. Sin inverse of 1 by root minus pi by 4. So these are examples. Okay. So property number 5. Property number 5, what is the first one? Sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is pi by 2. Second one is tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is pi by 2. Number 3, secant inverse of x plus cosec inverse of x is pi by 2. So these are very important. These are called fundamental property. Sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is pi by 2. Tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is pi by 2. and secant inverse of x plus cosec inverse of x is pi by 2. So what is x lies between? X lies between x is minus 1 to plus 1. What is here? X belongs to R. And what is x greater than or equal to 1 or x less than or equal to minus 1. So these are very important. Both domain is same, no? That minus pi by 2. Tan inverse of x plus cot inverse pi by 2. Okay? Better if you want one, I will prove that result. Okay? What is x lies between here? Minus 1 to plus 1. X is any real number. X greater than or equal to 1 or x less than or equal to 1. Better I will prove that first one. Let sin inverse of x is theta. Therefore, sin theta is what? X. Anyone, either this or this, you better take theta only. Sin, I am taking cos of pi by 2 minus theta is x. Theta belongs to minus 90 to plus 90. And what about pi by 2 minus theta? Lies between 0 comma pi. When theta is between minus 90 to plus 90, pi by 2 minus theta lies between 0 to pi. So it implies pi by 2 minus theta cos inverse of x. Pi by 2 equal to theta plus cos inverse of x. What is the theta here? Sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x equal to pi by 2. So this is the important. And similarly we can prove it. And secant, suppose here sin becomes cos. Okay. This is very important here. Note sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. What about sin inverse of x? Pi by 2 minus cos inverse of x. And cos inverse of x is pi by 2 minus sin inverse of x. Okay? What is the sin inverse of x? Pi by 2 minus cos inverse. Cos inverse of x is pi by 2 minus sin inverse. Okay, similarly we can prove that second and third. What is the pi by 2 minus cos inverse? Sin inverse. Pi by 2 minus sin inverse, cos inverse. For example, sin inverse of 1 by 10 cos inverse of 1 by 10 is equal to pi by 2 because 1 by 10 lies between minus 1 and plus 1. Second one, sin inverse of 5 cos inverse of 5 not equal to pi by 2 because 5 does not belongs to minus 1 and plus 1. Number 3, secant inverse of 2 cosec inverse of 2 is pi by 2 because greater than 1. Number 4, tan inverse of 20 cot inverse of 20 is equal to pi by 2 because any real number. Okay. So the very important property, sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x pi by 2, tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is pi by 2, secant inverse of x plus cosec, secant inverse of x plus cosec inverse of x is pi. Okay. So here not equal to pi because phi does not belong to 1. So even you take one more example, secant inverse of 1 by 5 cosec inverse of 1 by 5 not equal to pi by 2, because domain should be greater than or equal to, but here less than 1 is not possible. Okay, see these are there are around 5 types of property I explained. One is domain, another is range, then minus domain, another is reciprocal, another is fundamental properties. Okay, so thank you. Continue that next lecture number 3. Okay, I finished lecture number 2. Thank you.